I feel like when we get stuck, like stuck in a time in our life, whether it's a job or just a mindset or anything like that, it's really hard to get unstuck. And so today's guest is going to share with us how she helps people get unstuck. So here we go.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
So, hey, Giant Builders, welcome. I am so glad that you're here. I don't know if you noticed, but we reached a milestone of 300 subscribers. So I am so excited. And if you have not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do, because I'd love to see that number rise, and that just helps us to reach more people. So today's guest is Julie Miezejeski. Hi, Julie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I am a transformational life coach and mental fitness trainer, and also an author of the recent book I published in November of 2025. It's called Stuck, Unstuck, Unstoppable. High achieving women discover and overcome the obstacle to an unstoppable you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, well, tell us a little bit about your coaching first.
Okay. Um, I have spent almost 30 years in the corporate environment.
Oh.
And during that whole time, I was never really happy in my job. And it's coincidentally, other parts of my life were not very happy as well, but I think they were all um, combined together. They all affected each other. So I reached a point where I said to myself, I have to find a better, I need to change in my life. I have to find a better way of being. So it was almost like trying to find the missing piece of a puzzle. I call it finding the missing piece of the puzzle of your life.
Hmm.
So from that point on, I was searching and searching and searching. I would look for other jobs. I would look for possibility of changing industries, changing my career, my function. I searched and searched for everything, but nothing ever really felt good. So I finally, towards the end of my career, I was walking down the hallway in my office, and my boss was walking from the other direction with his executive coach.
Yeah.
Now, this was back in 1998, and the coaching industry was in its infancies. It was very young. And so not a lot of people even understood what coaching was all about. And a lot of people who didn't really, catch on to it and really like it that much, especially corporate environments.
Mhm.
But anyway, this was my boss's personal executive coach. She wasn't hired by the company. My boss hired her himself. So anyway, he introduced me to her, and we stood there and chatted for at least 10 minutes. And as I was chatting with her, all the light bulbs were going off in my head. And I said, this is the answer. This is what I need to know. This is what I need to do. I need to become a life coach. But at that time, I was saying executive coach
Hmm.
because my idea was that I would just go to school and get a certification in executive coaching and just go to work in a company as an executive coach. But, I didn't go to school right away. Um, at the time, I was trying to get pregnant and I was going through all sorts of infertility treatments and such. So it took me a long time. So finally, I have twin daughters, by the way. So
Congratulations.
that
How old
as
are
a
they?
result, right now they're 24, they'll be 25 in April.
Okay.
So I decided at that point, um, I want to go to coaching school, but the time has to be right. So when my daughters were about six years old, I decided to go to Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, which is one of the most well-known coaching schools
Mhm.
in the world. And so I went, and it was like I had so many aha moments, as they say, and I could not have felt better about what I chose to do. So after I went to coaching school, um, I tried to practice and I got my certification. I tried to practice for about a year, but having the twin daughters by the time I finished, they were 7, and there was so much involved, with them. So
Mhm.
after about a year, I put the coaching on the back burner and just went about doing other things. But when they went to college, that's when I decided to practice again.
Oh, great.
And since then, um, I didn't really have the idea to do to concentrate on high achieving women at, the very beginning, but it evolved. It decided, eventually that was a perfect fit, because I remember when I was in coaching school, they said, always try to find an ideal client. And an ideal client would be the younger version of me, who was, high achieving, but yet was still not happy, was not satisfied, fulfilled with their life. So that's why I chose um, that market or target or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Oh,
So
great.
that's the story of how I became a coach.
Oh, great. Well, I can see
Yeah.
how that I can see that there was a flow there that God was really leading you through. So I think that's
Yes,
really cool.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's important too. So, all right. Well, then tell us about your book.
Okay. So I felt that the best way for me to attract clients and the best way for people to get to know me
Mhm.
was to write a book. And so the book that I wrote covers, I guess you could say, 3 different aspects that I include in my coaching. And number one is the core energy coaching method that I learned in at IPAC. And next, I include a lot about positive intelligence,
Mhm.
because that's the second school that I went to get another certification, and also a lot about mindfulness,
Mhm.
because a lot of your I guess you could say a lot of the inner work involves mindfulness, because when you really want to immerse yourself inside, you need to find ways to really focus. And mindfulness allows you to focus on who you truly are, what you really want. So I start out the book talking about the inner child and how we lose the inner child as we grow older, because we become, um, totally influenced by adult world or the ego world. So we lose that connection to the inner creativity and the inner self, who we truly are underneath everything. And so then I talk about how to reconnect to your inner child. And then I talk about positive intelligence and how we have sabotorial behaviors and how we use SAGE, which is a nice word for intuition, to battle those sabotorial behaviors and, more or less see what's going on the outside world that's affecting you as a person, as your authentic self, and what is keeping you from really being who you truly are and allowing you to actually changing your way of being. You're a different person. Once you really know who you are, what you want to do, who you want to relate to, the whole thing, the whole ball of wax concerning life, you're a different person and you're so much happier. You walk around happier. You can, one of the words they use in positive intelligence is mental fitness. So they also consider me a mental fitness trainer. So
Oh.
just like there are physical fitness trainers, I'm a mental fitness trainer. So I'm trying to help you to keep everything on straight. Basically, keep your head on straight as you go through your daily life. So you can go through your daily life without reacting instead of responding to people and situations, and just be very level-headed and move, calmly and comfortably through life.
So like
So
there are physical exercises, are there mental exercises to help us maintain that?
yes, they
Okay.
call them, positive intelligence calls them, I mean, they're actually mindfulness techniques,
Uh-huh.
but positive intelligence calls them PQ reps. Like,
Okay.
you would have physical training reps, you have PQ reps, positive intelligence reps. So it's a lot of breathing exercises, um, focus, a lot of like focus exercises, just a lot of things that keep you in the moment, keep you in the present moment, as opposed to letting your mind wander, you know. So, in other words, they are exercises to keep you where you are in the moment, and instead of letting your mind let your thoughts travel all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guilty of one of those mind wanderers. So I
Yes.
understand what you're saying. It's like
Yes.
I sit down to do something and then I'm like, oh, did I do that? Or remember when? And just so many
Yes.
like jump in my head and just scatter it all around. And I have to like kind of like, all right, that's not what you're sit down here for.
That's right. Right.
So well, you said there's some breathing techniques. Is that like, okay, so all right, let's use me as an example. All right, so
Okay.
okay, so often when I sit down to do something, my mind will go back to like a past situation. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So a past scenario in my life, maybe a memory of my son or myself as childhood. What's something that I can do to bring myself back to, I guess, the present, to what I'm really sitting down to do?
Okay. Um, well, first off, before I ever really do anything, I spend a few minutes, that I want to really focus on.
Mhm.
I spend a few minutes just breathing, just doing some exercises, inhaling, holding for a few seconds, and then exhaling, and then do it about 3 times, and just like sort of like fall into yourself. So you're into your present self. And also look at something in the room and just like focus on it and just like look at every detail. So it's like bringing you back into the moment
Uh-huh.
because it's forcing you to focus.
Okay.
So, yeah. So the act of doing that takes away all that um thought
Distraction.
process that it takes away all that wandering.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. All right. Well, Giant Builders want you to know that if you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to check out this episode because you will like it too. So, Julie, any closing thoughts?
Um, I just would like whoever's listening to especially if there are any high achieving women who are not satisfied with their way of being presently, and they would like to have a conversation with me, to contact me at www.lifecoachingwithjulie.com.
Okay. And I'll have all your contact information below too, so that that'll be easy access to the Giant Builders.
And pick up my book on
Yeah.
Amazon if you want to read it.
So is your book more of a like workbook process? Like it will work me through a certain
it
area?
will it will on a very high level work you through um work you through yourself,
Hmm.
basically how you behave, and ways that it gives you different viewpoints of how to look about things.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it will not completely change you, but it might help you a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's what you're there for, is for the actual changes. So Giant Builders, a link to the book will be below. So make sure to check that out. And so Julie, thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'll make sure all your links are below so it's easy to reach out to you.
Thank you very much, and very nice to speak with you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being there. All right, Giant Builders, see you next week.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.